Yay, thank you. Thank you so much.
All
I wish I could
right.
stay, but
All right. We'll talk to you later.
bye-bye.
Bye. All right, Miss Roxanne. Let's see if we can
Well,
get you
okay.
up here on the view. There we go. Go for it.
Okay, well, I'll just kind of introduce myself first. I am Roxanne Indermule, and I own a company. It's called His Faithful Stewards. I started my company because there's a lot of financial advice out there that isn't grounded in biblical principles. And so God actually owns everything, and we're stewards or managers of what he's entrusted to us. He wants us to be good managers of the resources he's given us. And so that was a big reason why I started my company. I show Christian investors how to legally stop paying taxes on capital gains and other kinds of passive income. I show Christian business owners how to reduce self-employment taxes by 80 to 100%. I teach my clients wealth strategies that have been used for generations by wealthy families, and they've kind of been kept away from the common person. But you don't have to be wealthy to do them. So, and some of those things are like setting up your own bank, like Tanya was talking about, being able to shelter things inside of insurance policies. I work with some of that as well. I show Christians how to earn good guaranteed return on their money, even on money they're spending, and without any risk of loss. So I show them how to protect their assets and their families, and especially from the IRS. So I encourage my clients to use these savings that they're experiencing to lay up treasure for themselves in heaven by giving generously to causes that further the kingdom of God. So I'm also in the process of developing seminars for churches around kingdom financial strategies, and also running some community exchange programs like we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes here. So, and I do all this because I'm passionate about living with an eternal perspective and knowing that this world is only the beginning and that there's a whole lot more ahead. And so let's start by looking at ways you can save money on medical costs. I know that wasn't on the list there, but something we've discussed. And these are some things that I know believers can put in place, a lot of them, and save a whole lot of money on medical costs. Because one of the biggest hurdles in getting our budgets down can often be costly insurance, especially medical insurance. Sometimes it feels like we pay so much in medical insurance that there's nothing left to pay for medical care. So, there's a couple of ways that we can make some significant cuts in the cost of medical insurance. The first one is looking at non-Obamacare options. One of the things that came in with Obamacare is that the insurance companies that are working with that are required to take anybody that comes in with all of their pre-existing conditions and such, and that jacked up the price for everybody. The benefits of working with a non-Obamacare kind of option is usually the premiums are about 30% lower. There are still no caps, and there is wellness care that's included as well. Now, there is the downside because they aren't required, they're not under Obamacare compliance, so they can actually decline someone due to pre-existing conditions or refuse to cover certain ailments. So it's probably not a good fit for somebody that has a chronic or serious health issue or history in their past. But for somebody that doesn't, they could save a lot of money on their insurance. The second one actually saves even more, and that's Christian cost sharing options. Christians joining together to bear one another's burden on medical share costs. There's been several different ministries that have been set up. There's actually quite a number of them. And the benefits to those is the cost can be 50% or less than traditional insurance. And when you're participating with one of these, you're actually participating in sharing one another's burdens through cost sharing with other Christians instead of feeding big corporate America. You choose your own doctors. Your doctor determines your course of treatment, not an insurance company. Some will even allow for some alternative medicine kind of options. Your portion, with most of these, you have some choices, but you can have one that's just like a certain set amount. I actually use one of these myself. And when I have an incident come up, I have to pay the first $400, but after that, the rest is completely covered. So if you compare that to what insurance does with their gazillion dollars of deductibles, and then you've got co-pays and such on top of that, it's a tremendously more cost-effective road to go. Now, there are some downsides, and I'll be honest about the downsides that come with using Christian medical share plans as well. Is first, if you come in with pre-existing conditions, they either don't cover those conditions or they don't cover them for a period of time. So, you know, you do have that kind of caveat you need to work with. Now, and another downside is that it can take, you know, up to 3 months to get your money. And even though your doctors will wait that long to get it from insurance companies, they usually won't wait that long to get it from you, and they'll expect you to start making some small payments. So you have to just kind of adjust for the fact you're going to make some small payments and you're going to get some of that money back, or it's just part of, consider that part of your share that you're going to have to pay. The other is when you go to a doctor, they submit your bills to insurance companies and you don't have to mess with it. If you're with a medical share plan, you will be submitting all your bills to the medical share plan after, you know, when you get them from the doctors. You know, nobody's going to do that for you. So, and the other is it doesn't cover wellness care. You're saving a whole lot on insurance, but you also are going to be, you know, covering your own wellness care and what's important to you that way. The way these plans work is that each month you, instead of sending a check to an insurance company, you send a check to another member who's had a medical need that's been published, and that gets assigned to you, and you send that check out. And then when you have needs, you also pull together your bills and you submit them to the sharing coordinator. And once they're approved, other members are sent your name and address with the amount they need to send you. So it's all work. And these companies have been in existence for 20 plus years, the ones I'm going to share with you. And so they're working, and they're working well, or they wouldn't still be around. So three of those, the three that I will share with you that I know are the biggest and the strongest and the oldest are Medi-Share, Samaritan Ministries, and Christian Healthcare Ministries. All three of those are strong ministries that have been around for a long time, and they do what they say they're going to do. There are a lot of others, and it's not to discourage you from looking at those, but just to be aware that, you know, the smaller ones can run into some trouble along the way with keeping bills done and having enough people to cover those costs and such. One thing you do need to be aware of is to participate in a Christian medical share program, you will be required to sign a statement of Christian faith. They're looking for people who attend church regularly, and they will require a pastor's endorsement to sign off. So those are requirements that have to be met for anybody that's wanting to use one of those programs. So that's just kind of a nutshell, one of the biggest things you can use to kind of save money on medical costs. The other thing I'm going to talk to you about is about the community coming together for this purpose of helping one another in community. And one of the side benefits of that is that it's going to cut costs and benefit everybody. Churches have been really good about setting up support programs for needy classes like single moms, seniors, or financially, you know, disadvantaged people. But some of the shortfalls of those kind of programs is they don't really preserve the dignity of a person being served very well. It treats them as needy, and it makes them identify themselves as a needy class to get any kind of assistance. And then it also doesn't foster a whole lot of community. So many people who are struggling financially won't identify for these services, feeling like they aren't, you know, poor enough to be part of the object for help. But a lot of times people that are providing services in those will also kind of burn out because we're busy people, and putting more and more into our schedule sometimes just doesn't work. So, but when the community comes together and works together to serve one another, it can reduce costs for everyone. It preserves their dignity, and it causes people to not rule out participating because they aren't poor enough. It's not a handout program at all. It's community helping community. Some may want to participate just to be part of the community and not necessarily because they need to save on the costs. Communities can join together to exchange time and services instead of just granting handouts. Any service that somebody might pay another person to do is something that can be exchanged for something else. Parents can share childcare. Cooking, cleaning, sewing can be exchanged for other chores. Home and car repairs and maintenance can be exchanged to fill a different gap. yard work, garden surplus might be on the exchange list. Every list of available things people can exchange will be different according to the group and according to what what the participants are willing to bring to the table and exchange with others. So one other thing, community can have clothing exchange days where parents and even people from a neighborhood can be invited to bring in outgrown, gently used kids' clothes. And then everybody brings some in. They leave with clothes that are the size that their kids are growing into instead of the ones they're growing out of. Even adults can do these changes with clothes that they no longer wear that don't fit anymore. Kind of an example of how it works is while one person changes the brake pads on someone's car, the car owner could do some yard maintenance or cooking for the repair person. They could make them a special meal in exchange for their time, but the two parties can discuss what would be of most benefit to the other and exchange their time for something they are good at, for something that they aren't as good at or don't like to do. So in the end, both parties benefit. The hard attitude is still coming from a place of giving and of service. And mutuality is important as each person needs to carry their own load in giving and receiving. Some people a lot of times are much more comfortable giving and others are a lot more comfortable receiving. But with this kind of a service where community are working together, both sides have to choose to grow in the area where they're not as comfortable. Working in community calls people to walk in grace, because sometimes somebody might not quite work up to their standards. And just because somebody's missed that standard a little bit doesn't mean we might not need to grow a little there. But at the same time, if somebody's come in and done a really lazy job, we might have to learn to walk in truth a little bit more and gently express disappointment for a job that's been really poorly done. All of this is part of community where iron sharpens iron, and community becomes a place where people grow. God's community is designed to bring both nurture and challenge. It's designed to bring grace and truth. These things go hand in hand for God's community. Operating in community to help one another gives us that opportunity to participate in all of it. And along the way, we can reduce our own costs and help others do the same. It can help us balance our budget and free up more funds to give away. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, so and where are you, Roxanne?
I'm in Northern Colorado.
Awesome, awesome. And you're actually working on putting all of this together in kind of a consulting package for communities that really want to get together and try to reduce their cost structure this way. Is that correct?
Yeah, basically for churches, I'm working on putting this together as a plan where I can consult with them as they move through that and how to implement that and get it working. Mm-hmm.
Cool deal. Cool deal. Well, thank you so much for sharing all your wonderful knowledge. Roxanne has been very instrumental in helping this team to understand, because she comes from a family of pastors. And so she brings an understanding of what goes on inside churches as well as building church communities. So we've been extremely grateful to have her here with us. So thank you for sharing tonight, Roxanne. All right.
You're welcome.
And next up is Mr. Lorenzo King. And I know we had some background noise there earlier, so but now I can get him to unmute himself. There we go. All right. And Lorenzo is all about telling us about how you can legally cut your taxes. So take it away, Lorenzo.
Excuse me for beating my pencil in the background a while ago. But first thing I want to say, I want to commend Tanya for just being a real trooper and stepping up to the plate and be an example how to make a difference, because I know she's going to overcome by her positive attitude, her and her family. So we're going to wish her the best. So I want to thank Don and Cheyenne for that relentless effort to put this together. In the future, I'll see some big things. And I can't go without thanking my good friend, Pastor Dan. I met him back in August, and he is a true trooper. So give him a hand. Okay. We live in a society today where everybody wants to see a change, but nobody wants to be a change. I believe that we need to step up the plate and make a difference and be the change that we want to see. I believe you can't make the right decision with the wrong information. Renew your mind, change the way you think. So let me show you. Can I share the screen now, Cheyenne?
You should be able to. Go ahead and see
Okay.
if you can make it work. If
Now
not,
I'm gonna show you a quick presentation that I put together. Now every single person on this call gonna say, oh, I already know. That's pretty simple. My question is, are you doing it? And if you say yeah, then the next question is, soon as I can figure out how to do this. My next question is, who else are you helping? Okay, so basically I put together a little home-based business and tax benefits. And the reason I put this together because a lot of people, when they're looking at a business opportunity or a business from home, and they thinking, wow, what are the benefits? Just to maximize and beginning to understand the tax benefits alone to me can help make a difference. I've been doing that for years, and I'm talking about understanding the tax laws legally, not looking for gray areas, not taking shortcuts, and not doing things illegal. The law works in our advantage if we work it. So home-based business, some tax benefits. Home-based business and tax deductible. Some of the benefits of having a home-based business of business is the ability to start your business, the minimal startup capital. You don't have to pay rent. You pay unless you pay a part of your mortgage, either rent or the place you already have. So it's not additional income coming out your pocket. You don't have to go buy a lot of fancy clothes. No commute, and of course tax benefits. I believe the starting point is make your lifestyle tax deductible. What I mean by that, when I go to the gym, I make sure I take business cards. I talk to people about my business. I document, I pass out cards. Or if I go out to dinner with someone I make sure we're talking about business, and if I take a vacation, I plan in advance. I make sure I'm talking to someone about my business. Whether it's schedule appointment, if I'm going to a different state with someone in the same business that I am, we can share ideas. Just little tidbits. Everyone on this Zoom call probably have a computer. You can make that tax deductible. You have iPad, tablets, Apple Watch, telephone, cell phone, internet. All those can be tax deductible. Your legal and professional service can be tax deductible. Now you say, well, I can't, if I just start a small business, I don't have a lawyer. Well, one business that I represent is called Legal Shield. With Legal Shield, they will review your contracts. If you have a real estate, they can review your real estate contracts. If you overcharge for something, Legal Shield. If you have a data breach, most people have at least several of these issues during the course of the year. Landlord, tenant issues, been treated unfairly, identity theft. Don't want to talk about speeding tickets. Nobody on this call gets speeding tickets. But how many people actually done your wheel? I mean, we talk wheels, but a lot of people have. I just found out one. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. I just found out a person I know that just died that didn't have a will. I would have never thought that in 100 years. I've been knowing this person a long time. Just so you know. If you start a small business, your advertisement and promotions will also be tax deductible. Your logos, your business cards, your brochures, ad space, online print, website, social media. Almost everyone kind of do these things anyway if it's not for a hobby. Learn to make it tax deductible legally. I have to keep saying that. If you own a business, and like I do own an entertainment company, I use subcontractors to help me. So if you pay them at least $600 a year, you need to provide what they call a 1099, and you need to submit that to them by January 31st the following year. You also can deduct your meals. And of course, that's business meals, of course. And these are some of the examples, so I don't have to read. I know you could read those. And as your business begin to grow, then you can start understanding how to deduct your service charges, your bank fees, your overdraft. And of course, you have to have the legal way is to have two checking accounts, a personal account, and a business account. Eventually, as you grow, you start to obtain various types of insurance. Teach you how to make those tax deductible. And these are a list of a few of the things that you can make tax deductible, from auto insurance to workers' comp to professional liability and malpractice insurance. It all depends on the size of your business as you grow. And other things, again, as the business continues to grow, things like depreciation, education, and interest. And that's kind of it. So if anybody have any questions, I guess we can take it at another time. I don't know if Cheyenne want to give us time right now. But again, I'm an entertainer. I provide music and fun, but I also represent a company called Legal Shield, because I know every business owner needs an attorney. And if you go out to hire a lawyer, you probably pay $300 an hour. Most people, no small business person I know really can afford that. So why not have Legal Shield, which you can pay probably less than $1 a day? And not only have an attorney, you have a team of attorneys from all different aspects of business. Quick example, a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago, I was talking to someone about participating in a bridal expo. And this was like a year in advance. And they just said, hey, this signs authorization saying that you plan to attend, no obligations and no commitment. And of course, I didn't read it. That's in the Legal Shield like I should have. So when December came around, the expo was scheduled for March. So I called and told them I had a business trip in March and I couldn't make it. They said, okay, good, that's okay, but you still owe us $2,000. I'm like, for what? You signed a commitment guarantee you was gonna pay us $2,000. And I told them, I explained it to them. They didn't listen. About 3 days later, they had someone call me actually threatening me. It was unbelievable. It's unbelievable what people would do this day and time. And I called Legal Shield, sent them all the information, discussed the details. They drafted a letter. They sent the people a letter. Haven't heard anything else from them. I can tell you about my son, who he likes buying old cars. And a few years ago, before he joined Legal Shield, he got a letter from a finance company who wanted to know when he was going to make a payment on his $80,000 new car. And of course, he was blown away with that. Of course, he eventually got Legal Shield, and they ended up helping him bail out of that. But we live in an interesting society today. So that's what I do. And I have other home-based business interests, and thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lorenzo. That is awesome information. Very good. I saw Tanya had put in the comments that an awful lot of people are dying, they're not having wills and it's creating massive chaos. And, if I remember correctly, Legal Shield is still less than $30 a month and you get a will done for free. It's like, what in the world? Why are people not doing this? So mostly because there's not enough people who know that they can get a will done such reasonably priced. So anyway, but thank you. And we're doing pretty good on time. I see that our friend Brian Daly has joined us. And before we turn it over to him, that's a good point, Lorenzo. Let's just open it up and see if anybody has any questions of Tanya or Roxanne or you before we move on to the next piece. Feel free to unmute yourself if you have any questions that come to your mind. You want to ask any of our presenters. Everybody's been doing a great job. Thank you, guys. You're providing amazing information that too many people don't know that they don't know. Rick, yeah.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, so I want to ask some questions about the health insurance co-ops, I guess. I guess maybe this is for Roxanne, maybe.
Are you talking
Sure.
the Christian medical share plans?
Well, well, I'm a little nervous about the Christian medical share word, simply because one of the things that I'm involved with is developing communities where, community healthcare could be a very in need kind of thing that would, yes, forget about Obamacare. Yes. Right now I work for a company that provides healthcare, but when we start promoting our model for communities, self-sustaining communities, to be able to get their own health care, I think it would be interesting to be able, and not everybody that is being in communities, they might not all be Christians per se. So how would they be able to, participate in these healthcare co-ops, or do they have to be saved Christians, or are they?
Well, the ones that I listed on there, they are required to sign a statement of Christian faith. There are some co-ops out there that are not faith-based, but honestly, I've never found any of them that are not faith-based that aren't making money at some point and consequently charging much higher monthly membership amounts.
Right.
So that's why I don't list any that aren't, because it's the ministry, those particular ministries that are saving that 50% plus on the cost of medical premiums.
Okay,
Cool.
interesting. So you're saying that, okay, I think I get what you're saying. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you can Google it. Maybe there's some new ones that have come up, but every one that I found that have been secular, the cost of them have been, maybe a 10 to 20% savings off of medical insurance, and maybe hardly that. It's just people that want to get it out of corporate America and get more control over, what's going on with what they're doing, but it doesn't really save a whole lot cost-wise.
Sheehan, that's something that we definitely need to take a look at for our communities. Is how we start those things up, because we obviously can't, discriminate per se, so that's something just for us to put in our thought process.
Absolutely. And there are some others out there that I've heard of, but it's been a while since I've gone and looked at exactly how they're pricing things and how they're operating. So I need to circle back around and look at some of those again too. But, for the Christian community, I think the things that Roxanne is talking about is amazing and can be really helpful to a lot of people. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful.
Question. Yeah. Thanks for the question.
And also, there is no, when you start looking at the non-Obamacare options like US Health, there's no faith connection to that at all. And those can save 30% plus in their cost of premiums as well.
Wow.
Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Anybody else have a burning question before we turn it over to Mr. Brian Daly? Going once, going twice. All right. Well, thank you, Rick, and thank you for all of the conversation going on here. And, again, obviously we have all kinds of prosperity advocates with us tonight. And I'm grateful to Giovanna that she introduced me to our next speaker, Mr. Brian Daly. I've just had the opportunity to start to get to know him a little bit recently, and I keep being impressed because we're kind of pursuing the same kinds of information, and we're trying to get it out to people in the same kind of ways. And I'm trying to remember, and Brian, if I get the name of your group wrong, please correct me, but it seems like it was New Life Financial Alliance. Is that correct? Come
Good job.
on up. There it is. Yes. Say hello and tell us what you do to help people with debt reduction.
Well, thank you so much. And to my friends, Giovanna, Joanne, good to see you guys. And Rick, I think we've met, and some others we've met in maybe some other meetings. So it's great to be here. I had another meeting prior to this. That's why I was a little bit late. But you know, the reason that we started this conversation was the conventional wisdom in financial technology is badly broken. A lot of things that folks are following today, there's much better ways to do things, and in key areas. Well, one of those areas that you'd asked me to talk a little bit about was in the areas of debt, and the issue with debt. There are ways that you can pay off debt in 1/3 to 1/2 the time without increasing your monthly payments. And you know, going on a financial diet is not a fun thing. Folks don't really look forward to doing that. And you know, a 30-year mortgage is a horrible deal for the consumer. It's downright diabolical. Because the stated interest rate on a mortgage, a 3.5% stated interest rate, actually, if you hold that for 30 years, you pay 67% of your payments go to interest. So if I said, hey, I've got this great, wonderful, fantastic loan, it's 67% interest, you wouldn't sign up for it in a million years. Now, how does that happen? Well, mortgages are originated in arrears. If you ever took out a mortgage, I remember the first mortgage my wife and I took out. You know, if we took it out in June, your payment, you know, if you pay rent, your rent's due on the 1st when you move in, right? Well, with a mortgage, it's 30 days later. So I said, well, your first payment isn't due until August 1. We thought, boy, that's a heck of a deal. That's so nice of them to delay the payment of our first payment. What turns out to be is it puts you behind and in debt. It's called arrears. Almost absolutely brilliant on the bank's part to do that. Well, a new loan, I say a new loan was introduced, new mortgage loan was introduced in 2004. And basically it changes the way that interest is calculated. It's a first position home equity line of credit. And if you've ever had a line of credit, you know you pay interest based on the outstanding balance times the interest rate times the number of days that it's outstanding. Pretty simple. That, in fact, most people would think that's the way a mortgage would work. However, it doesn't work that way. And the second part of that, so it's simple interest versus compound interest. And the second innovation is it allows folks to offset money or cash flow that's going through their checking account. While it's sitting in their checking account waiting to be used, it reduces their outstanding principal. That takes a 30-year loan on average down to 9 years or less for the same monthly payment. Now, what I say as a financial advisor is I say, hey, we just saved you 21 years worth of payments. Take those 21 years worth of payments, save them at 7%. It's depending on your payment, it's well over $1 million difference in your account. So it's not just the interest that it costs you, it's the number of payments and the opportunity cost of what you could have done with those payments had you saved that money. So when it comes to financial security and financial independence, I think you'd agree, every extra $1 million helps, right? So and there's many other ways when it comes to innovative ways to pay down your debts. So that's sort of the short story. Now that one loan program, for instance, was started in 2004. It started in the UK, started in Europe. It's been popular in Australia and Canada for a number of years, decades actually. And but it hasn't caught on in popularity quite yet here in the United States. And here's the most interesting fact about that loan. Since 2004, now remember 2008, 2009, mortgage meltdown, lots of foreclosures, lots of pain in America. A lot of people lost their home. Since 2004 until today, they've done billions of dollars worth of these loans. Not a single loan has been foreclosed or defaulted, not one loan. Because if you think about it, if you have an equity line and you get in a jam and you can't make a payment, you don't have to. Just add it back to your principal balance. In fact, you can skip many, many payments and still, now, with a 30-year mortgage, if you can't make a payment and you miss a payment, doesn't matter how much equity you have in your home, you have to make that payment every 30 days. You miss 2 or 3 in a row, and you're living on the streets, kind of thing. So a safer loan as well, and something that folks could use responsibly as a possible emergency fund. So we're on a little bit of a crusade to teach people how to redirect their money better to get out of debt. How'd I do?
You did awesome, Brian. We thank you. Thank you so much. I know that there's lots of programs out here that people just haven't heard of. And what was it? I heard it was either you or somebody else said something about it's not magic, it's just math. I love that idea because, again, if you can take that huge chunk of interest out of the equation, oh my gosh, that alone is got to do so much to help people to fight back in these times of inflation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Rick, did you have a question?
I would like to speak with you. Yes.
Okay, sure.
I sent you a private message, a direct message with my email
Oh, terrific.
in the chat there.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate that.
Cool deal. That's awesome. And that is one of the ways that people can connect with our speakers. If they've got questions or want to meet with somebody, please do let us know. And, again, everybody did get note-taking forms as well as a little general survey form that got emailed to you. Even if you can just put some of that feedback into an email, don't have to worry about using the form, and get that back to us at the end of this. It would be so helpful because, again, we're trying to spread education out here that most people don't know that they don't know. And, yes, a part of that is money-making opportunities. And well, since you're already on the screen, might you just address a little bit about that? Some of the things you work with actually do provide people with an opportunity to make money from home, do they not?
For me, yes. One of the things that we've been really surprised by is tax credits that are being offered to employers that were impacted during COVID. And I would have thought that everybody would know about it. It's amazing to me how many people do not know. The government set aside $2 trillion in what's called Employee Retention Credit, or ERC, that anyone that was impacted during COVID that had employees can get as much as $26,000 per employee in a tax credit. It's tax-free, there's no strings attached, there's no loans, has nothing to do with PPE, and doesn't necessarily mean that they lost money during COVID, just if they were impacted in any way, supply chain issues, that sort of thing. So an employer with 10 employees could potentially get back $260,000 in tax credit money. And the opportunity for us is to introduce those folks. We've partnered with a CPA firm, 200 CPAs, tax attorneys, that's all they do is this. We refer the business into those folks. They take over. If they save them money, they charge them a fee. And from that fee, they pay us roughly 4%. So on $200,000, and they got $200,000. The person who referred them in roughly gets about $8,000, which is, amazing. Now that's an opportunity that the window will close April 15th of 2025. And there are some great, wonderful innovations. Roxanne, I'm so sorry. I think you were talking about the health innovations. I wish I would have caught that. I've not been, up until recently, been involved much in that area myself. I've referred that usually to others, but there's some incredible innovations happening in the health insurance space as well, where folks don't have to pay those unbelievable premiums to get decent or even better coverage. You know, one for instance is and this may play in well with other plans that they have. It's not health insurance. It's basically a health benefits plan that employers can offer their employees that don't cost the employer anything and don't cost the employee anything because of the tax savings on a 125 cafeteria. In other words, it comes out pre-tax. The money they save on FICA and all that pays for the program. And it's unlimited doctor visits, no deductible, no copay, unlimited prescription drugs, no deductible, no copay, and unlimited telehealth, no deductible, no copay. Now that's not to replace health insurance. That can be an add-on or an overlay, if you will, to health insurance. And because it's not health insurance, it doesn't require any licensing or any of that. And that's typically done on referral as well.
Wow. So yeah, and I have a funny feeling you have a whole bunch of other things in your pocket as well that are ways.
Too many to go into.
Well, but that's one of the reasons why I was so excited that Giovanna referred me to you, is because you know, you're kind of doing similar to what we're doing, is you're putting a whole bunch of things under your umbrella so that you can help a massive number of people in whatever way it is that they need to be helped. I think that's probably a fair way to describe what I've come to know already about you, Brian. Cool deal. Cool deal. Well, I am going to say thank you, and we're going to move on to the next part of our program. And I see Brian did put his contact information in the chat. You can definitely save the chat here if you're familiar with doing that and be able to capture people's information that have been there. Most of the information in the chat tonight has been mostly people, you know, congratulating each other on providing some great information to us tonight. And I agree. I think everybody's been providing some amazing stuff for us to think about and take away tonight as part of fighting back the inflation beast. So we do want to get to all of our other members here. One of the things that we do believe strongly in is the ability for more people to learn how to make money from home. This is such an important thing. And, you know, when we get into recessionary times, when we get into inflationary times, putting all your eggs in one basket just doesn't make sense. Building multiple income streams is much more intelligent. And so we want to give everybody on our team here tonight that does have different ways you can make money from home to be able to just, you know, step up to the mic and tell a little bit about, you know, what their opportunity looks like, you know, what's the company that they're partnering with, and, you know, what is it they're doing and why. You know, Tanya, I mean, gave us a beautiful story right at the beginning about her why, about why she went from being a paramedic to being into financial advising. That was just beautiful. And so I think a lot of times when people can hear why people think that a particular product or business opportunity, you know, really resonated with them, sometimes it'll resonate with other people as well. So I am going to ask my better half here if he'd like to take over the mic from me and talk just a little bit about the company that he's doing quite a bit of work with right now. You willing to do that, dear heart?
Okay, you want me to start?
Yeah.
Go to the picture there.
I'm trying to see how to, let's see, if Brian can mute yourself, then perhaps the picture will come back to us. Let's see. There we go.
No?
We're trying. Maybe. It doesn't want to come back. Well, I can go back this way. That'll help. All right, hubby. If it won't let us be on the speaker view. No, it likes Brian. It's all good, but
Did that
dear,
help?
go ahead.
It doesn't really matter.
There you go. Go for it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Donald Kramer, and I'm going to talk to you about something we do and use every day. But before I start that, let me ask you a simple question. Do you support local businesses and families? or give you hard-earned money to the Bezos and Waltons, the billionaires of the world. Let me ask you, do you shower? Do you shampoo your hair? You brush your teeth? Do you clean your bathroom? Do you clean your kitchen? Do you clean your floors? Do you wash your dishes? Do you wash and dry your clothes? Do you smoke a pack of cigarettes a day? Well, yes, you do. Research shows using the toxic products that you buy in stores is like smoking a pack of cigarettes every day. Do me a favor. Google how many people have died from eating Tide Pods. Did you know even adults have eaten Tide Pods? Crazy, right? Well, no more. You need the safe products from Melaleuca. How safe, you ask? Well, they're safe enough that there's no childproof safety caps required. Imagine that. And you wonder, how good are the products? Well, one day I was messing with my trailer hitch and I got grease all over a pair of jeans. I thought I was going to throw them away, but no, they got the grease out of my jeans. And guess what? You don't need to use bleach anymore for cleaning. That's history. To make your home and workplace safer, call or text me. My phone number is 919-931-8990. Again, that's 919-931-8990. Or email me at drkramer@gmail.com. That's drkramer@gmail.com. And I will help educate you on better living with safe Melaleuca products. Isn't that something? And also, I'll show you how you can get your products for free. During the pandemic, even the US government came to us for sanitizer because everyone else ran out. But our in-house manufacturing kept us supplied. And I want to thank you and hope to talk to you soon. And if you have a nonprofit like a church, contact me so maybe I can help them or you grow money. Thank you.
Yes, thank you,
Hope
thank
take-
you.
hope you
Better
take a
half.
shower every day.
Yeah, I hope so too. When we were doing a run through, everybody was saying, no, I don't do that.
Yeah, sometimes that,
It's all good. It's all good. But
Next.
yes, we have had great results with those products. There's no doubt about it. And I'm trying to remember if Giovanna, you want to unmute yourself and go next? I'm trying to remember. I wasn't able to grab the picture from your graph. I don't know if you can talk a little bit about it, but I'm trying to see if I was able to pull up. Yes, I was able to get this other sheet. So there it is. Giovanna, you unmuted?
Yes, I am.
There you are. Are you able to see your mobile device?
Yes, this is the mobile device. There's actually 3 devices that I always talk about. I'm happy to be here and thanks everybody. You're doing a great job. And thank you, Pastor, for hosting us once again. So the one on the screen is, yes, keep going.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
you're
But
good,
say
you're
who
good.
you are and who your company is.
My name is Giovanna Sidoti. I am part of a company called Volara. We are 96 years young and we've been around a long time. In April of 2020, when the schools shut down, the school told me to leave. I was a teaching assistant in kindergarten 4 years. I loved it. And this came to me, this technology. I wasn't looking for it. I wanted it selfishly for myself and my family. And then I realized that I have a moral obligation to make sure people know and understand how it works. Simply, I use this phrase, we send the solution to the pollution because it's duplicating what nature does for us every day outside to clean the air out there. But indoors, just like Don said with the laundry soap, there's so much pollution within our homes that this now cleans the indoor airspace. In particular, everyone should be aware that all homes have mold, which means you have to filter it with your lungs. Dust mites love your skin, also needs to be filtered with your lungs, but with the technology in your home, all of that can be eradicated at 99.9. So the one on the screen here is a Fresh Air Mobile. So we use it in the car. So in other words, when you drive by a skunk or all the exhaust from the vehicles that's coming into your car, quickly it's eliminated with that small unit. I always show everybody this little unit, which I used on the airplane. It eliminates odors within a 5-foot circumference of your body because you wear it or clip it to your clothes. And let me see if I can just put this on the screen like that, since you couldn't get the big picture up. That unit, relatively small, only weighs 8 pounds, 12 by 12 by 10. And it does a 2,000 square foot space based on an 8-foot ceiling. Most homes have that. And if you have bigger than that, then you'll just need to add a second one. But because I use this phrase, sends the solution to the pollution, the air will be sanitized within 60 seconds and the surfaces as well, up to 7 hours, and then continuously, because the unit is sending out oxidizers and hydroxyls like the sun makes for us every day into the air, seeking and destroying any pathogens, viruses, mold, COVID, any of the above, and so much more. So that's just a quick synopsis of what we're all about. And I have been using it in my home since April of 2020. I did not know I was never going to have laryngitis again. And lo and behold, I do not have that anymore. It's been 2.5 years, and I had it for 15 years, every year, 2 to 3 times a year for 2 to 3 weeks. So for me, it's a miracle, and I'll never live without it. And I'm happy to speak to anybody after we're done or tomorrow, whenever you have time. I'll put my information in the chat. Thanks, everybody.
Absolutely. And I don't remember if you mentioned it, but I think it is worth mentioning, and it is on your sheet there, that this technology is used on the International Space Station.
I didn't.
It's an important piece there, I think.
It is.
You
And
know,
it was actually a blooper. They were trying to grow potatoes with the technology, and they realized that they were not getting sick, and now they understood that they had something better than the need to grow potatoes in space.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much for being with us, Giovanna. And
My
yes,
pleasure.
this is one of the ways that Giovanna chooses to make money from home. And you know, what more can you say other than, ain't it a wonderful thing to be able to help protect people from all these different types of viruses? I bet you Tanya's wishing she had one of these in the house right about now. But it's all good. It's all good. All right. Well, since I'm already sharing my screen, I'll go ahead and share one of the companies that I've enjoyed working with quite a bit. And I will just hopefully this will change over and you'll be able to see this amazing person that Don and I have been working with for a number of years. Yeah, there it goes. Very cool. So, you know, my story really is all about him.
Of course.
Of course, it's all about him. Just ask him, he'll tell you.
That's right.
But anyhow, you know, about a little over 5 years ago, we didn't think we were ever going to be on the road. We'd almost given up hope of being in the RV full time. We'd given up hope on being able to go to communities, work with people, and start building these community programs to help educate folks about health, wealth, and peace in their community. And, you know, he was in massive pain. He'd already had a hip replaced. They wanted to replace another one, both his knees. He was not in good shape. And I was literally on my knees praying and just saying, okay, God, I believe you still have a big mission for us. And if that's true, please send us help. We need to figure out how to make this guy feel better, because he was depressed and that was getting me depressed and we weren't going nowhere. And literally within 3 days, a gentleman reached out to me on Facebook and said, I don't think we've ever spoken, but I feel like I need to hear your story. Please call me. And that began an incredible journey for us where we got to meet this gentleman, Dr. Joel Wallach. He is an amazing guy. He was first trained in agriculture. He later became a veterinarian, and now he is a naturopathic physician. And his whole story is about the fact that minerals have been depleted from our soils. We are not getting the minerals we need to keep our bodies healthy. And so he has created a whole company called Youngevity, which is based on plant-derived minerals that our body can most easily absorb and be able to help stimulate the body and the natural ability the Creator gave us for our bodies to be able to heal. It is a missing component in today's society. So yes, I love sharing the story of Dr. Joel Wallach. You can see his documentary online for free, joelwallachdocumentary.com. And yeah, it is one of the cash flow tools that we use to help us stay on the road. And I'm always happy to share about the story and about Youngevity with other people who would like to make money from home by helping them to improve their health with minerals. So that's what I'm talking about. And I'm going to stop my screen share and I'm going to let some other folks go here. So we do have Ms. Maggie back with us tonight. She's here. Yay. Maggie came to the church a few weeks ago and did an amazing job of teaching people about the oils of the Bible. So tonight, Maggie, are you willing to share just a little bit about how people can use what you've been teaching as a way to make money from home?
I will, and I'm going to do a screen share, so I'll do a little intro while I'm doing it. Hopefully this will work.
Hopefully.
I have to do something from this side. It's over on Canva. Present. Presenter view. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is a screen share, and hopefully this does it. And I will just desktop 2. Do you see a
Doesn't look like you hit it yet.
oh, because I have to hit the share button. That
There
helps.
you go. Now it's up. You're good.
All right, and so I'm not gonna read this to you because you can read while I talk. I'm gonna babble a little bit, but I wanted to say, first of all, you call it these home base or being able to work from home. And I want to say being able to work from anywhere. So I'll go into that a bit. I'm Maggie Bergesser. I live in Delaware. And for you people who are talking about home loans, etc., I'm sorry, I've been a little distracted. I'm literally closing on selling my house tomorrow. And I was kind of texting my approval for the settlement sheet while somebody was talking. And I was thinking, and you're probably all obviously know this, it's so amazing. From 9 years ago, I bought the house, but how, we can do so much of it digitally. People aren't even buying houses. I think my buyer's never actually been in my house. So it's pretty incredible. And the whole settlement sheet thing we're doing, on the texting and email. So it's pretty amazing how technology has moved into that realm. But so anyway, my business, I work with Young Living Essential Oils, and I started that literally 20 years ago when nobody even knew what an essential oil was, including myself. And I had a friend introduce me, and I'm like, the know, like, and trust. Those of you that work with our business owners, know, like, and trust. So I trusted this person. I said, fine, I'll get some, whatever it is, and I learned. And what I discovered is they really work. And I'm kind of one of those people that like to study stuff all the time. I was a dental hygienist for 52 years, retired now. But part of the motto of Young Living is wellness, purpose, and abundance. So what I discovered is that from the wellness part, and I like science, I know that we're all frequency. And when I was talking about the oils of the Bible, that's one of the things. God gave us plants for health, for healing. And it's because of the essential oils in the plants that this healing and I should say wellness takes place, and helping our bodies to balance in frequencies, etc. So, but that's what I discovered. I wasn't that technical at the beginning, but I just realized that I could use them all the time and they really, really work. So that's like all of you with your wonderful products, you're using them because they really work, and then you want to share them. And that's what was happening with me. And that was 1999 when I started using them, and they worked, and I would talk about them. I was not interested in the business, I have to say, at that point. However, I do have, as one of my adventures in life, a master's degree in advertising and marketing. So I'm very fascinated by business. And I realize that the business model of this kind of this industry, which has different names, but it's the sharing where we become really the marketing piece of a company, is such a beautiful business model. It is a beautiful business model because for many reasons, but you all know that, so I won't go into it, but it's amazing. And so part of my story is that then in 2008, I'd been talking about them. So this business was building up kind of organically. And then all of a sudden, the rug, I was working as a temp a lot because it fit my life at the moment. And then all of a sudden, the rug just got pulled out from under that. And that's what's happening to a lot of people today. And thank God I had that other stream of income coming in from my Young Living business. And it's only grown since then. But I'm such a advocate of multiple streams of income, which I know all of you are as well. So I don't need to emphasize that too much. But just kind of a fun thing, like another reason why do I use them? I was doing a very intensive personal development course a couple of years ago. And it went over 4 months, and we were in contact every day with people, really intense. And it's one of the challenges that I created for myself, we all had to do them, is 75 is the new 25, because that year I was turning 75. And most of the people were in their 30s, and they were just flabbergasted. You're going to be 75, and so they started doing weird things like, here, take my chair or whatever, before they were like, like, you got to move and whatever. And then now all of a sudden they're treating me like some kind of an invalid. And so I decided also that I just want to create a new thought of what people have as far as what aging is. It doesn't mean sitting in a rocker. It doesn't mean looking for what your latest illness is. You can have fun and adventure, and that's what I love to do. Now, and I'll go into that a little bit right at the end, but
well, we're running out of time, Maggie.
Okay, all right. So Young Living has wellness, purpose, abundance, and I love it. And the quality of the products is the highest in the world when it comes to essential oils, and they have many products. And okay, so I will be quiet, and I'll just say you can work from anywhere, because I have a Dutch boyfriend, and so we live 3,815 miles apart, and I can work from anywhere. So can you. That's it. Bye.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And if you can stop your share. We do have one more person, I believe, to bring up.
All right, let's see if I can do that. How do I do that? Stop share.
There you go. You did it. Awesome. 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 All right. And Joanne, our newest member of the team, just came to us in the last couple of weeks, and we are so excited. I have some working knowledge of what she's here to tell us about. So Joanne, please give us 2 or 3 minutes of your story as we get ready to close out tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm delighted to be here. It's been very fascinating and much information. I grew up, the only work I know is work from home. My father had a home-based business, and I married a man who developed his own business. We actually have patents, and I'm a flute player, a retired flute player. So I know all sorts of types of work, right? And I also understand that multiple streams of income are absolutely the smartest way to go. I had never considered one of those things, right? One of those things. It never even just my mind never focused on it. And this is what happened 12 years ago when I was in our beautiful, beautiful showroom in Saratoga Springs. It's a kind of an uppity racehorse town in upstate New York. One of the hotel owners told me she just started another business. It's a side gig. She said it's with a new wellness company that has a new kind of health technology. She said it's molecules, the molecules that the body makes for healing. And I started shaking inside. I said, I must know about that. Because you see, when I was 16, my father had been diagnosed and they cut it out and they said they got it all. And he lived. My mom went organic and he lived. And so we grew up with a father. And then when I was already married and had moved from Canada to New York and had my music career, and we had our beautiful furniture design business, I got the phone call from my sister. Dad's in the hospital with a massive brain tumor. You got to come home now. So, of course, we dashed, and the doctor said we got it all. And he passed a year and a half later. And I was just left with a feeling of, after watching how it had been handled, just this vague feeling of there must be something more, there must be something better. But I didn't know what it was. Hey, I'm a flute player. I'm an airhead, right? I just blow into things. So I went back to New York and continued with my career and our business until 12 years ago. 12 years ago, I heard that hotel owner tell me about that. And that's when I understood that there was something special here, something that was working with the body's healing design, with God's creation, with the way the body heals itself directly and absolutely without any toxicity, empowering every single cell in the body to heal and function the way it's designed to do, to replace bad dysfunctional cells with healthy, vibrant cells. And when your cells are healthy, you are healthy. And so this is something I have been dedicated, really. I've retired from flute playing. I've dedicated to educating others about, and it has been a joy for me. And I not only get, yes, a repeatable residual income, which didn't happen with flute playing. I'll tell you, if I didn't play my flute, I didn't get paid, right? But a repeatable residual income that comes, how? By changing people's lives, by educating them about how they can be healthy, and they become healthier, and by building a team of empowering others to share this and spreading the wealth and spreading the health. And I get paid in goosebumps, as well as getting paid so that we can keep bringing this around the world. And that's what I do. Thank you.
Thank you
Very
so
good.
much, Joanne. That's awesome. I'm not sure I even heard you say the name of the company. Did you?
No.
It's okay. You can do that.
Right. Yes. So the company that I've partnered with for the past 12 years is called ASEA, ASEA Cellular Health. And the product is it's redox. You see it in my sign behind there. And that is the breakthrough. Redox signaling molecules are made by your body. If your body stops making them, you're gone. So you want to keep making them, and you want to put more in your body. So, thanks, Cheyenne.
All right. Well, thank you. And thank everybody who's been out and listening to all this tonight. I hope this all has given people some new ideas about some new possibilities for, making a choice not to participate in the recession. And I did want to bring up one other thing, because I truly believe that what we've done here tonight, what Maggie helped us do with the Wellness Empowerment Seminar a couple of weeks ago, I believe that right now we're in a time where we need more people to get involved as community leaders to do the kinds of stuff that Don and I are out here doing. And we've actually put together a whole coaching training program. We're looking for people who want to work with us to start to replicate these efforts in other parts of the country, into Canada, into different places. And, we've got a 4-part training system for all of this. We do a lot with small business collaboration, teaching people about purpose-driven careers and purpose-driven businesses. We do community brainstorming events. I was thrilled when Roxanne came to us about the community brainstorming and figuring out how to share services in a community. We actually here, we had a whole group at a nonprofit we were partnered with, and they brought a lot of their community to the table, and we got them all into passion purpose teams and got them brainstorming together on how to solve problems in their community. So just be aware that this is something that, again, we're looking to replicate ourselves. We're looking for people who want to help us build the We Care Partnerships Network. There is opportunities for people to be able to make money helping us build out this network and helping to create more health, wealth, and peace on the planet. So if anybody feels any kind of resonance to that idea, please reach out to me. We'll talk because I truly believe we none of us know where this country or this world is going right now. But, I believe still in my heart and soul that if we have another major economic collapse of some sort, whether it's the stock market, housing, or all of those all together, I believe small business owners have the ability to be the problem solvers, to be the leaders in their communities, and to help lead people back into spaces where they can have more health, wealth, and peace in their community. So I thank you all so much for being here tonight. Please do save the chat. There is some great information there. Does anybody have any closing questions or comments before we let you all go for the night and just say thank you for being with us tonight?
I have a quick
Thank
question.
you.
What's that, Miss Renee?
The question's for Joanne. What part of New York are you in?
I'm by Cooperstown, so upstate.
I'm in Utica. So like,
Hey,
you're literally
I played
about
with the
an hour
Utica
away from.
Symphony.
Yes, I actually was in Cooperstown this past Sunday. So
All right. Well, we could have.
let's connect.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Very
Small world gets smaller here, right? On Zoom.
It does. It does.
And I want to share that Brian is such a wonderful leader. I discovered Epic last May or June. I discovered it. I was just discovering all this Zooming and all this stuff. And I feel like he's a mentor. He doesn't know this. So he's really tough, but he doesn't get away with anything. He's a wonderful educator and a wonderful coach without actually let's say a professional coach without actually billing himself that way. So thank you, Brian. I'm delighted that
Thank
you
you
were
for
here.
the kind words.
No, I meant it. I only speak what I mean.
I love it. I love it.
I think everybody
Yes.
should stop tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you
Yes.
all
Thank you all.
tonight.
No.
Absolutely.
Hey, can